Will you please welcome Save the Children Ambassador, Natasha Kaplinsky.
Thank you very much indeed. I am truly honoured to be with you this evening, and I feel that I ought to establish my credentials very quickly and say that my mother was born in Ajmer in India and my father-in-law was born in Bangalore. Is that all right? I would sincerely like to thank you all and thank the Asian Awards and David and Lindsay Levin from UBM specifically for choosing Save the Children to benefit from your wonderful event. I've worked in this room many, many times, and I can tell you honestly, I've never seen it looking quite so spectacular. And it is an amazing evening, and I know that you've got a lot to look forward to. We are truly, at Save the Children, incredibly thankful for all of your support. I have been fortunate enough to see firsthand the incredible work that Save the Children do. And I'm very grateful to have a few minutes of your time this evening to tell you a little bit about it. It's only by seeing things firsthand, as I'm sure many of you in this room have done yourselves, that you do truly understand how desperate the situation is for many millions of people around the world. As Caroline so brilliantly said at the beginning of the evening, last year, you generously sponsored a mobile health clinic. In January this year, I went to visit Sanjay Colony slum just on the outskirts of Delhi and saw for myself the amazing impact that one of these clinics had. Until last year, people living in Sanjay had absolutely no form of basic health care. They had to travel for 10 miles for any form of treatment. And now, once a week, as if by a miracle, a mobile clinic turns up, a basic bus which is kitted out with nurses, a pharmacist, vital drugs, and it pulls up outside Sanjay slum. It literally brings healthcare to the doorstep of thousands of people, one simple bus. I met many people there who, if they had the chance to stand up here and say thank you, they would from the bottom of their hearts. There was one boy in particular that kept on catching my eye in Sanjay slum, and he looked a little bit like a chimney sweep. He had one shoe, very, very, very dirty, scruffy clothes. He looked like he hadn't eaten for a very long time. But he was completely delightful, and I kept on seeing him everywhere I went. And I became slightly obsessed by this little boy, and I wanted to find out about him. So I asked some of the Save the Children staff to find out who his mum was, how old he was, what he did. It turned out that his name was Lucky. And looking at him, I couldn't for a minute think that Lucky was a suitable name. He seemed like the unluckiest boy in the whole wide world. But it seemed that his mother did have some kind of foresight, because Lucky and many people like him have some contact with the mobile health clinic and Save the Children. I'd like to show you a short film now about the mobile bus and about what we're really hoping and praying that you might help us with this year. Wouldn't it be incredible if we could raise £150,000 to fund a mobile health boat that we've just seen in that film? This floating clinic would literally transform the lives of people in the Sundarbans. Nurses and trained health workers could make monthly visits to villages, providing checkups for children, information and advice and support to expectant mums. In emergency cases, the health boat would act as life-saving ambulance services, able to be called out by families like Reena's that we just saw in the film there, and Sabina's, who otherwise would not be able to afford any transport to any kind of hospital. Reena's and Sabina's babies did not need to die, and neither do thousands like them. There's always a degree, isn't there, of suspicion when you talk about giving money to charity. Everyone always secretly wonders, as I do when I make my own donations, where the money really goes. Do the people who really need it really get it? And I can tell you, as an outside observer of Save the Children and somebody who is now deeply involved in the organisation, the money goes where it needs to go. I've been associated with Save the Children now for the last year, and I've spent a lot of my time working with them, visiting their projects. They are an amazing charity with very high aims, very high ambitions, and they achieve a huge amount. Save the Children delivers vital healthcare, education, emergency relief right across South Asia. In 2010, they supported more than 2 million children in India, in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan alone. But their job is never done, and thousands more children are dying needlessly. Every year, more than 7.5 million children under the age of 5 die from diseases like pneumonia, malaria, and diarrhea. That is 7.5 million children. And what makes this so terrible and so tragic is that all of these deaths are preventable. People often ask me in my job whether or not I get nervous. As a newscaster by day, and I've presented all number of strange programs and fantastic programs with audiences reaching 12 million. And I always have a very straightforward answer, which is the honest truth. I don't get nervous doing my day job. It's television. If it goes wrong, I look a bit stupid and I go home and I feel a bit stupid, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. What makes me really nervous and very emotional are evenings like this, because these few moments of all of our time tonight could potentially make the difference of life and death for many, many, many people. Whether you decide to put your hands in your pockets tonight and reach out to the people of Sundarbans, literally is an issue of life and death. We are all so privileged. We are all so lucky. Can I ask you please to think about everything that we have, everything that we share, everything that you go home to tonight, and remember that we can all make a massive difference. While saving millions of children's lives sounds impossible, the reality is it's genuinely achievable, and you can make it happen. On your table, you will find a card, and I'm going to ask, please, sincerely, from the people of the Sundarbans, from the people you saw in the film, if you could please make a pledge to help support the health boat and the work that Save the Children do across South Asia. If just 1/3 of the people in this room give £500 each, that target is easily reached. And I know there's a lot of very rich people in this room. So please, please give generously tonight. And sincerely, from everybody who benefits from your huge generosity, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much indeed, Natasha. So as Natasha said, the pledge cards are on your table. Would you please give as generously as you possibly can?